Lots going on in the background. Somebody asked me for a Paulownia update. One of them's doing well, this one. For whatever reason, this one has always been strong and healthy. Starting to thicken nicely in the trunk. If I was growing commercially, then I would stool this, pick a shoot, and hopefully have it grow at 4 metres a year. I'm not going to do that. Quite happy just to let it do its thing. Paulownia are highly palatable, very nutritious, and one of the reasons why they're not doing as well as I'd hoped is that something is eating them. Very evident on these leaves. Only a few of the elongata that I planted last year have survived, and they're not inspiring confidence that they're going to grow rapidly into 7-metre trees. Shade is a huge factor. Those down at the bottom here that get more shade are definitely weaker. Several die-offs, and perhaps as well they remain damper for more of the day, and therefore the slugs have more time to devour them if it is indeed slug damage. They are growing back below. They put out new shoots, but there's a limit to the amount that they can regenerate, and you can see very definitely there something's eaten them, and my suspicion is it's slug damage to some extent. Still, we'll wait and see. We'll just let them do their thing. As you can see, definitely stunted by something eating them, putting out fresh new shoots below that, but that takes resources from the plant and means they grow more slowly. As I said in a previous video, I will to some extent prune these back, so there's no reason to have that side shoot on this tomentosa, so that will go. This tomentosa, as I guess, is about 3 metres tall, and there's a few tomentosa doing okay. This one as well. I guess the taller they grow, maybe it isn't slugs that are eating them, it must be something else, some sort of caterpillar or something, because that's quite high up for a slug to climb. This one here, it's putting out a couple of new shoots. However, it's not, to be honest, I'm disappointed with how these are growing. I might actually stool that one. That might be a candidate for stooling. So I might do that today. Something's ravaging them though, as you can see. Something's dining out. Paulownia are never going to be invasive in Ireland. They're just too edible. Everything eats them. So I still have plans in this area. I'll replant the elongata that I've lost, though I'm going to plant them as larger trees. These are the Fortunii that I potted on. Showed that in a previous video. And although I am disappointed in the growth rates and survival rates of the Paulownia, I'm going to plant up the rest of that area as intended with Fortunii. I've been going over it with the mower to keep the vegetation low, so that when they are planted, that's an additional benefit they are going to have, not having to compete with the existing vegetation. These are elongata, and again it's up at the top part. I'll wait till these grow on to about 1 metre tall before planting them out, which shouldn't take long. And as I say, again, on that top part, I am going to persevere. I've potted on also some Paulownia and Shantung. Down the bottom there, the initial plan was that I would replace those I'd lost down the bottom with these, fingers crossed, healthier and certainly larger ones. Though I'm now starting to think that it's not an ideal site for Paulownia here. It's a north-facing slope which is shaded by a hedgerow, exposed to the cold northerly winds. If you've got a south-facing slope which gets full sun and some shelter protection from the cold winter gales, then I would definitely be keen to continue to experiment with Paulownia. In fairness, I haven't followed all the growing guidelines for growing commercial Paulownia forestry, but that's not really the intention. The initial intention was to supplement firewood, and then it evolved into, okay, that's definitely not going to happen. The eucalyptus are just far better trees in terms of growth and timber for firewood. So the plan then was just to grow them on into a nice forest, and yes, that's still the intention. I'm going to persevere, but down the bottom there, although I've potted on these Shantung and Paulownia, I think I'm going to replace down the bottom with eucalyptus. While I'm here, I also got asked about Coccifera, snow gum, because I emailed a photo. Some of these are flowering, and Coccifera is just spectacularly beautiful, as are most of the snow gums. They just are so attractive as a decorative tree. So these are 3.5 metres tall, perhaps. The passiflora are, again, perhaps 3.5 metres tall. Very healthy. I'm going to plant more of them. I've got some Gregsonii and Nephophila. This is a Nephophila. And when I planted this, it was into a hole that had blue mud. It wasn't a particularly healthy specimen when it did go in the ground. In fact, both of the original shoots have died off. It was so poorly. But it did have one side shoot, and it's now flourishing. So I said in that very early video that perhaps eucalyptus was a specimen that might be suitable for poor ground, and that's certainly proving to be the case. There's a bug on that one. I'm feeding the remaining stock of Paulownia that I have with quite a high nitrogen fertilizer, and they're responding well to it. This is probably going to be the last of the Paulownia that I grow, so if you are interested in experimenting, these are $1.50 each per plug. Just drop by or get in touch. These are Shantung. Probably got about 50 plus of those. Nordmax, maybe 10. I'm going to pot on a few for myself here and see how they go. Elongata, a natural variety, not many of these, maybe about 10. I've already potted on the ones I want. Paulownia, I think these are the Z701s that everybody wants, and plenty of these, maybe about certainly 50 plus. Tomentosa, more of a garden variety. Some of these are very healthy, doing really well. Fortunii, These were plugged up last year, another natural variety, and they're super healthy, growing well since I changed my feeding regime. I'm still interested in experimenting with Paulownia. One thing that I did notice, I mean, this one is just way more healthy and vigorous than any of the others. It's a Paulownia, so it is a hybrid. There's absolutely no creature damage on any of the foliage. Last year there were mushrooms sprouting from the base, so perhaps this one has access to a mycelium network that the rest don't, and maybe I just have to wait for that mycelium network to grow and expand and supply the rest of the trees here with the nutrition they need. Anyway, time will tell. Thanks for yours meantime. Good luck.